guys, it's Hanley Bradley. I'm super excited to be talking to you today. My pink hair has returned, along with me from Scotland. I've just got back from Scotland literally a couple of days ago, and I arrived home to the most amazing weather for bank holiday weekend. And as a result, I'm a little pink all over. Have to get my weather moment in because, of course, I'm British, and as Brits, we talk about the weather more than anything else. And if I don't talk about it, you'll forget that I'm British, and then my entire brand will be scuppered. And we can't have that. The brand must not be scuppered. So, do you know what I could do? I could totally trademark that shit. I could trademark it, be the only British author who writes about British people in London, and then you'll never forget that I'm British, and that I sound British, and that I look British. Oh, I don't really look British, because I don't know how you can look British, but I'm British, and that's my brand. That's basically it. Like, I'm not clever, I'm not original, I accept that fact, but I could trademark it, and then no other British author on the planet could ever write a bloody book. Best idea ever. Fuck that shit, really? Alright. I take real precedent, like real issue with the idea of trademarking a word. Some of you, most of you probably, anyone who's involved in the indie community will have heard all about this cocky malarkey, and I don't like getting involved, and I don't like commenting, and I don't feel like usually it's a good idea, but on this occasion I have to say something, because the shit's wrong. Like, this is wrong. Really wrong. First, can I just say, I don't know the details. I've seen bits, I've seen screenshots, I've seen letters on social media, but I do not know the details. I first saw something about this maybe 3 days ago, probably at the beginning of the bank holiday, I think. It may have even been on Sunday, I'm not sure. I think I was sat with my family in the hotel, and it came up on my Facebook, and I was like, what the hell? And I told my family, and they were all laughing, and they were like, can we trademark this word? Can I trademark this? And my dad was like, is that even possible? And I'm like, I don't believe so. I don't think you could just trademark words. But it was a fun moment in our, circle around the table in the bar in the hotel. So I don't know the details. I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna say fuck all. I'm not here to judge. Yeah, I am. Who am I kidding? I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm not gonna say anything that I would say, anything that I think you could tell me off for. Because actually, I'm quite a nice person. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. But I do really take issue with this. I stand here and well, I'm actually sat down, but I sit here and I think to myself, what the hell? Like, you can't do that. One reason why you can't, like, take out trademark laws and everything else. Just go down to the basic principle of what authors do. We take words, be they words we make up ourselves. By the way, no one who's been around for a good, I don't know, anyone under the age of 100 probably came up with the word cocky. Cocky as a word has been around for God knows how long. It is not your word or my word. It belongs to the world. It's in the dictionary. It's not a new word. Okay? Just to get that out there. We take words that someone else made up, or we made up, potentially, And we write books with them. Wow! Amazing moment of self-revelation. That's what we do for a living. Wow. We create stories and we create real, meaningful content and emotive bullshit sometimes from words. And so words have value and words have importance, and to limit the use of words, it just doesn't seem right, if I'm honest. I remember being in school and being taught in English Lit about 1984. You might not have read it. If you haven't, that's completely fine, because actually you don't need to have read it to know about it. 1984 by George Orwell, a fantastic book. Nothing like my books, but fantastic book. If you have watched Big Brother, you will know something about George Orwell's 1984. It was written in 1948. Random little fact. And it was a look at society and what society could look like in basically 40 years' time. And one of the things that was quite potent in his writing was the fact that words were completely removed from the dictionary. Words were removed from common speak. Words were lost. And by removing words from the dictionary or from the common way of life, they were able to control people. Big Brother was able to manipulate and control your life and the characters' lives. Because if you couldn't describe your emotion, you couldn't feel it. If you couldn't put into words how you felt, it didn't exist. And so I think if you're going to start staking a claim on words, I think that's actually a little bit dangerous, because you're limiting someone else's expression, and actually it completely undermines the concept of being a creative person. Because as creative people, we take words, or we take paint, or we take a camera, and we create something beautiful, and we create something that has meaning and purpose, and that is designed to cause emotion or to bring some form of cathartic healing, or to change someone's existence on some basic level. That is always our goal. And so if you are stifling someone else's creativity to further your own brand, or to further your own money, like to make money, basically, I think there's something really fucked up about that. As I said, I'm not naming names. We all know who I'm talking about, though. But there's something really wrong with that. You know, there comes a point where you have to stand up and say something's wrong. And I think when someone's stifling other people's creativity, I think that's when it's wrong. I don't really want to get sued. So if I wrote something that was copying or appeared to be copying someone else's work, I'd be worried. I wouldn't do it. But if they felt that I was, I'd want to discuss it with them and see how we could resolve it. Because actually, I don't think anyone in this community would intentionally harm someone else. or at least I hope, at least I like to believe that we're all good people on some level. And a lot of this is still alleged, right? Because we don't know the details and we don't really know what's happened. But I do personally believe that if this is true and what I've seen on the internet, and bearing in mind, it is a fact that the copyright exists. That's truth. It is a fact that there is this situation happening. The only things that are up for debate is how much the author in question has gone around bullying other authors into changing their covers, changing their titles, rebranding, basically. If you can't get ahead in this community and in publishing without standing on someone, your writing isn't up to the crack. And that might sound really harsh, and I've never read this author. I'd never heard of her before this. I mean, a lot of you probably haven't heard of me, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But, like, I haven't read her books. I don't know how good of an author she is, but if she's going around pulling other people up because their book has the same word in the title, what are you going to do next, people? Are we going to claim genres? I'm sorry, you can't write a reverse harem book because I write all the reverse harem books on the planet. Or you can't write about British people in England because I do. Or you can't write fantasy because that's my genre. Seriously, people, I write this crap. What? It just doesn't make sense. If I can't write a book called Cocky Brit or like Cocky Arsehole, I'd never write a book with either of these titles, but like, seriously, if I can't write a book with the word cocky in it, and isn't cocky an English word anyway, people? Like, I'm British here. If anyone can write a book about a cocky bastard, it is me, because I write British shit. Seriously, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be swearing anywhere near this much. Normally, I manage to keep the swears really, like, you know, I'm a little bit British, we don't swear that much. But, like, I'm actually pretty peeved. If Shakespeare didn't come up with half of the English language, people, we would have nothing to write about. And the reality is, Shakespeare didn't go around saying, oh, you can't use my words. And he made the things up. Like, seriously, this is just bonkers. And I know I'm speaking to the converted. You probably all agree with me, and she's probably not listening anyway. But I'm really, on a basic level, it bothers me. But then more than that, it's the fact that readers, I love you. I love the feedback I get about my books. I love hearing your thoughts. I love it when I send a newsletter out telling you that I want to write something in a different genre, and I give you a wee snippet and I get 7 emails back immediately saying, please do it. I would totally read it. Like, you guys rock, and your reviews make me cry, and you keep me going on the days where I don't want to write anymore, and you make me laugh when you tell me silly stories that are completely hilarious, and you make me cry when you tell me that actually my words spoke to you on a human level, that your pain was made manageable by the words that I've written. I love you. And I would like to believe that the people who read my books wouldn't do this to someone else, to another author. And I would but then I would never expect that they would have to defend me against someone else either. Because actually, quite frankly, I couldn't defend myself. But seriously, readers, please don't go one-starring people. If you read a book, or even worse, if you don't read a book, don't give it a 1 star. Just because it wasn't written by the author who came up with the cocky trademark, or because it wasn't what you expected, because it had the word cocky in the title. I'm going to risk offending you, and I'm really sorry if that happens, because I would never intentionally offend you. But actually sometimes things have to be said, and if it causes offence, then okay. Because you're not making that other author look bad. The author who receives the 1 star doesn't look bad because you gave them 1 star. They look like they're being bullied. They look like someone's intentionally trying to harm them. It makes you look bad. It makes you look like someone who is trying to hurt somebody else, and that's not nice. But what's more, it also makes you look a little bit stupid and a bit thick. Because when I order books, because of course authors are readers too, we've read a lot of books, we understand what it is to be a reader. If we didn't, we wouldn't sell books. When I buy a book, I take a second, I check the number of reviews, I see what people think about it, I read the title, I look at the cover, I read the description, and then I do this really clever thing where I also read the line underneath the title. It's called the author's name. Yeah. Do I need to say more? You're not making the other author look bad, you're making yourself look bad, and you're making yourself look thick. You're making yourself look like someone who can't read a book's author's name. And as a reader, I doubt that's true. If you couldn't read and understand it. But even then, audiobooks, people, it tells you the name out loud! Alright, I'm being a bit childish with that bit, but it's true, isn't it? There's no reason why you should ever have to read a book by an author you don't want to read a book by. But actually, even if you did, like, let's say you got this book, you could return it. Amazon lets you return books, even ebooks. But actually what's more important is that you might actually find that you've found a new author who you might really enjoy. And just because her name isn't the same as the author that you thought you were buying, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy her book or his book. There are books out there with the exact same book title as some of my books. Broken Rules, great example. Someone else has the same title for their book. A Bleak December. There's all sorts of things called that. Why? Actually because A Bleak December is probably quite a common phrase in the sense that it comes from the whole concept of a bleak midwinter. I came up with it because of that carol. And since I came up with it because of A Christmas Carol, chances are the other authors who came up with the same title may have done the same thing. There are other people with my titles. Do I hold that against them? No, I really do not. Do I compare myself to them? No, I do not. I do none of those things. All I do is do my very best to keep my number of reviews going, keep the numbers of people reading my books going, so that my book can stay at the top of Amazon's search engine when you look for Broken Rules or when you look for my name. Seriously, like, that's all you can do, and that's all you should do. Like, seriously, like, I don't even know why I'm telling you this, because you know it. The reality is, though, that some things have to be commented on, because It's wrong. It is really wrong to believe that you can have a monopoly on an entire industry just because you decided that one word belongs to you. Shakespeare owned most of the words that we use nowadays, and the truth of the matter is he never once tried to prevent other people from using them. He never once got ownery on them. And actually, cocky is not yours, it is not mine, it belongs to none of us. The word cocky, should we Google that? Actually, let's do that. Let's find out where the word cocky actually comes from. So, I don't actually know where my phone is, so I'm using my old phone. My phone is, actually, oh, all the way over there. Not helpful at all. They're both rose gold. Apparently to match my hair. See? Phone matches my hair. I should show you the other one. That's rose gold too. Let's check this out. So, cocky. Where did the word come from? Well, that's not very helpful. Here we go. It means to be arrogant or pert. It's from 1768. Come on, people. Originally, it would have meant that you were lecherous. It comes from the word cock. It's equally relevant to cockiness. However, I can't actually tell you who came up with the word, only that it's been around since the 1700s. We do not own words. I don't even believe I own my name, and that is everything that my brand is. I do not own the colours of my brand. I do not own my signature. I don't own anything. The words that I own are the words that I've put together, and the reason I own them is because I own the way they sound together, and I own the emotion behind them. I own the creativity and the brain that they came from, but I do not own the individual words. I own the sentiment. When I first heard about this, I actually thought about writing just, a 40,000 word quick read about, or even 20,000. To just give it a title, Cocky, and see what happens. Just for funs. But but actually I wouldn't have been very helpful. Instead, I think what would be more helpful is a sign of solidarity. Authors, if your title has been attacked, if you have been instructed to cease and desist, if you have been bullied, if your books have been one-starred, if you're if you're having it demanded that you rebrand your book, I'm sorry, it's wrong. It's wrong that you've been treated that way, and I really can't believe it's happening. I've heard some pretty shitty stories in my life, but this is pretty ridiculous. If that's you, I would be the sort of person that would say, ignore it. Ignore the rebrand and cease and desist shit, and actually just focus on getting more reviews for your books, to make up for this horrible 1 stars. I'd be tempted to write to Amazon. They're not always very helpful, they cause us a lot of stress, but if people are breaking Amazon's TOS, they give a shit. They really give a crap. They tell us off when we do things that we didn't realise was against the TOS. So, you know, they've been pretty strict with us in the past, and so if you point out to them that something is going really wrong, you could save yourself and the other authors a lot of heartache by sending an email or a letter to Amazon. Tell them some individuals and specify the readers of such and such have been going around all authors with the titles cocky, such and such, and are giving 1 stars, not because they've read and hated the books, but because they are defending an author who shouldn't really need defending. Say it. Tell them the situation. Point it out, because actually, to give a false review, if they haven't read it, or if they have read it and they've said, "I like the book, but the book isn't by such and such," that's not the purpose of a review. A review is to tell us how good the book is, whether you enjoyed it, what you thought of it. Not that it wasn't written by whatever her name is. Like, it's unacceptable. And Amazon, actually, as crummy as they are and as annoying as they are, I think they would help you on this one. As well as that, I think you could contact the copyright people and point out that this is that it seems like an exaggerated thing. These are all things you can do for free as well, which is actually the reason why I'm telling you them, because I don't think everything we do should cost money. I certainly don't feel that you should be rebranding and doing new covers and changing your book titles because of some horrible conniving cow. Alleged cow. She might be a cow. She might be a decent person. It seems unlikely, because otherwise she wouldn't be doing this to other people. She'd be trying to support other indie authors, but instead she's choosing to hurt them. That doesn't seem nice. But she might actually be nicer than we think. The main thing is that you can do things for free without it costing you a bomb, without you going to court. I don't think she's going to take you to court. I think she would have a hard bet taking... God, there must be quite a few authors with the title cocky in the word. The word cocky in their title. Got that completely the wrong way around. So contact the copyright people. Ask them if this is actually a valid copyright issue, or if she's exaggerating what her rights are. That would be what I would do. So there's 2 emails you can send out. The third thing I would do, personally, is set up a Facebook group. Has anyone done this? Like, this might sound really stupid, but I honestly think every single author with the word cocky in your title, you need to get together. Now, the rest of us who haven't got it in our titles can support you. You know, I mean, we will support you any way we can, but you need to work together, because actually, as an individual, you're a little bit weak. You may win, you may not win, and you may struggle to go to court on a basis of financial stuff or whatever, and that's understandable. But if you're together, the cost is diminished, there's more of you fighting for each other, having each other's backs can be a real benefit, and you would only need 1 lawyer to share. Win-win, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's going to court. I don't think you need to go to court. There's enough of you that I don't really believe it will ever get to court. But yeah, get together, talk it through. if you do end up having to go down the line of court, the best thing about Facebook, I mean, we hate it. It causes a lot of stress. But one thing that's really good is the donation button. So, or even just like using crowdfunding or whatever. Like, crowdfund people, we will support you. Authors all across the world give a crap about this. Like, it is everywhere. Like, everyone's talking about it. There is no reason why, as a united body, you can't crowdfund the money to go to court if that's what has to happen. Equally, you could sue her for damages. That's what I would probably do. I'm not really sure if you could, but I think you could consider doing that. Together, you could seek out a lawyer's opinion and see how you can move forward. From what I saw, her letter, her cease and desist letter, who mentions, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it like literally in front of me. I saw it online, like I see everything else. Her cease and desist letter mentioned her lawyer. It said that they would win. If she took it to court, she would win. She doesn't know that. No, and also this is actually, this is alleged. This is just my ramblings, and I might be wrong. But her wording to me suggests that she hasn't spoken to a lawyer about this. Or if she has, she's changing their wording. No lawyer will usually tell you that you will win a court case. It's more than their money's worth. They like to keep ambiguity. They like being ambiguous. It saves them a pretty penny. Because you could sue them. So I doubt very much they've told her that she will win. I equally doubt that they've told her that she could win all of your previous royalties. She did not write your book. Even if you have a similar title, she did not write your book. The content within your book is your intellectual property. No one can take that away from you. How much your cover and your book title brought in your readers, there is no saying. So it's more likely that she would be able to take a percentage, and it would be argued that that was the money that was brought in by the title, or potentially how many of her potential readers have read your book. So it would be more about how many people have inadvertently bought her book, bought your book because they thought it was hers, and the likelihood of that is quite small. So really, I don't think you'd be losing very much even if you did lose. That's my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I do not understand legalised jargon any more than you do, probably. But I do know that usually it seems that it's always worked on the premise of how much have you lost? How has her brand been damaged by your existence? And, you know, she's an independent author, like me and you. Her brand isn't going to be huge. She's obviously worked hard on it. I had never heard of her before this whole debacle, but a lot of people may have, and she has got a lot of books out. But does your cover look anything like hers? Is there really anything that would make it similar? You'd have to really look into it to prove that you were freeloading on her brand. And I know you probably weren't doing that. I can't guarantee that because I don't know you and I don't know her, so who's right, who's wrong, I don't know really, but I can only give you my opinion. So I don't think you'd lose a court case. However, as I said, I'm not a legal advisor. I can't really tell you. But what I can tell you is that you're not alone, and that if you as a collective body were to work together, you would be more likely to be successful. And that what's more, together you can ask the wider community for help. We're not going to sit back and let someone hurt our own. It's just stupid that this is even coming out and is even a thing, but because it is, I felt I had to say my bit. If you need a new book cover, I really hope you don't change your book cover. I hope that you keep your brand as you do, because rebranding and remarketing is almost impossible. Well, that's an exaggeration. It's not almost impossible. It's just hard. You have worked tirelessly hard already as an independent author to create your brand and to create your book title, to create your cover. So to have to redo it, I just don't see the fruit of your labour in that. You know, I don't see what the benefit is of doing that. Yeah, I just don't see it. That's really all I can say on that. However, if you do decide to, I would be more than willing to help you with your cover. I'll help. I don't want to abandon people and say sink or swim. The truth is, we're here together, we're a family, and authors united against bitchface, I guess. And by bitchface, I wasn't referring to an individual, I was referring to the concept of hurting other people. I would just like to put that out there. That's a wee disclaimer for anyone who feels that they should take offence at my wording. Yeah. Because this is wrong. It's really wrong. Actually, I have nothing else to say on the subject. It's just wrong. I hope that this whole thing will be resolved without going to court. I believe it will be. I can't see this actually going to court. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But if it does go to court, you're not on your own. Court can be a very intimidating thing, but you're not on your own. Peace out. Bye, guys.